All right, so again, this is a 2015 Ranger Crew 900. Uh, we did the front a while ago. Now we're going to do the back. Um, like I said in the first video, I didn't really think about doing a video whenever I was taking it apart. But then, some people started asking questions about how easy it was, what all was involved. So I decided to make one while I was putting it back together. Sorry about that, but you can pretty much get the idea from putting it back together. So again, this is the bearing carrier for the back. Just very, very similar to the front. The big differences are, first of all, it's aluminum. It does have the holes also right there that I was to understand you could push out with a punch. Definitely would not suggest using a punch, especially on the aluminum one, because you don't want to scar up the inside of the race where the bearing goes. Another difference about these is it does have these brass pins right here with the rubber bushings on it. You might want to inspect those pretty well whenever you take them off and see if they need to be replaced. Mine were pretty good, so basically I just pushed the brass pins out, cleaned everything really well, and then put some grease in it, and put the pins back in. Just like the other one, I've already cleaned everything really well. Everything that needs to be cleaned, I haven't cleaned everything. As you can see, it's still pretty dirty. Already put grease on everything. Grease the shaft and splines really well. Grease those bushings right there. And we'll go ahead and start putting it back together. It's going to be a little bit easier than putting the other one back together. You still got your upper and lower control arm. The only difference is instead of trying to balance it while you're trying to put the ball joints back in, you've got these right here that are a whole lot easier to get done. So basically we want to start, go ahead and put our axle in. And I've got the brake caliper right there. I want to get it out of the way. Slide it into place. You can see the grease come out of that. There's our first one. Go ahead and put our nut on. Like I said, I like to use a lot of grease because a lot of grease is better than a lot of heartache and trouble later. So, some people may criticize for the amount of grease that I use, but when I get done with everything, I like to clean it up and wipe all the excess off. Make everything pretty. Actually, left my washer on the wrong end. Got a washer and a nut right there. Slide that back in. Put our washer on. And the nut. And 15. Tighten it back. We're gonna leave it just a hair loose right now, just so we can make sure we got plenty of good movement to get everything back together. Go ahead and pick up on it. Bring our upper control arm down to it. Seems like this one's gotten bent just a little bit somehow. There we go. Again, washer and nut. We're in South Georgia. It's like 87 degrees today, March the 1st. So I'm sweating and there's gnats everywhere. So if you're doing this anywhere else in the world, it's going to be a whole lot easier. Lining my holes up, get my bolt in. There again, see the grease? Love grease. Go. The washer and nut. 15 and 15. Go ahead and tighten that down. Tighten that one down real good. Make sure everything's good and snug. We're gonna put the hub back on. Just like the front one, everything should slide in easy. Shouldn't have any problems. This doesn't have to be pressed or anything like that. Basically, you just want to make sure that your axle's greased real well, and your hub is greased with the splines on the inside. We want to line our splines up. There we go. The axle. All right, just like on the front, we've got 2 washers. We'll clean those up just a little bit with some brake cleaner. Let them dry. I don't want to get any brake cleaner in my grease. We've got a castle nut. All right. Oh, I've got a torque wrench. I'm going to use my impact to seat everything. Then I'm going to back it back off and then just snug it back up on there. Don't want to tighten it. Torque wrench. 80 foot-pounds. And this side, the rear end should hold it. We just want to tighten it down to 80. And there's 80. All right. And just like before, we're going to get our cotter pins. All right, here's that. Make sure everything feels all right, feels tight. And we want to put our caliper back on. Again, just like the front, there's 2 bolts that holds the caliper in, right here and right here. Get some of this dirt out. I promise I'll wash this thing. We'll spread our pads, slip them over the rotor. Give it just a little encouragement. Now, unfortunately, on the rear, because of the way that everything is set up, you cannot get a impact or a ratchet and socket on there, so you have to do this one with a wrench for the caliper. Hashtag first world problems. Nice and snug. Not too much because everything's aluminum. We don't want to crack it. And that's it. That's how you do the rear. Of course, you just put the tire back on. I believe it is a 19 that fits the tire, or a 3/4 will also fit it, I think. But that's it, guys. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll make some more videos in the future. Like I said, I'm not a professional. This is my first time doing stuff like this. But it's real easy to figure out. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Appreciate it.